was to have such a treasure. One thing I do want to ask you very quickly, because you discussed before how you were when you were in your coma and while your heart stopped, you went to the next world, and you didn't realize that you went to the next world, but you were meeting all kinds of people who were dead, and you could, even though you never met them before, you understood who they were, and things like that. What lesson do you think that people should learn? Here's a person, we're actually talking to a person that was on Olam Emes for a short time. And what lesson do you think everyone can learn from the fact that you were there and you saw these things?
There's one thing that I took from it, which is real important, is that people don't realize the effect their actions have. People don't realize, especially here in the States, we're very spoiled, so people are looking for love in all the wrong places, and people don't know how much love they really are by people who really count. But more important, what you do in this world stays with you to the next. Even small things. Imagine my uncle couldn't find peace because my father hadn't forgiven, had accused him of stealing a soccer ball. Now, I thought I was hallucinating. When I mentioned it to my father, I'll never forget the expression on his face. I can't... Of course, he couldn't talk. He was shocked. He remembered the incident. He remembered putting it in the closet, whatever it was. He completely... Of course I forgive my brethren. Something small like that is remembered, and it stayed with them for so many years. From 1937 approximately to 1983. It's a long time not to have rest for a small incident. So who knows what we do in this world that stays with people, and that stays with us. If you don't forgive a person, that stays with you. And you feel it in the next world. It's a painful thing for you in the next world. So people will hurt you in this lifetime. They'll say stupid things or will do stupid things. And it's not important to them, so they'll forget about it. Forgive people. Just forgive people in your heart. Let it go. It'll be great for them in this world and the next. And it'll be really great for you, especially in the next world. You'll be on a different level. And when I say different level, it's not like when you go to the theater and you have orchestra and mezzanine and balcony. It's not like that. It's on a much deeper level and a much more important level. Imagine you're asleep. To give an example, imagine you're asleep, but it's a very hot night, or it's a tremendous amount of thunder. You're asleep, but you're not really asleep. It's not so good. Now imagine you're by a lake, and you could hear the water, and you feel good. Everything is just right. It's a soft breeze, and the climate is perfect, the air is sweet, everything's wonderful. Well, that's the difference between forgiving and not forgiving for you in the next world. So just forgive, let go, and move on. And that's it. That's a very important lesson.
I think that is a very important lesson. There is an issue, and I know because it came up for me recently, where a relative passed away, actually two relatives passed away, and there were other relatives in my family. There are other relatives in my family who were they had tinnitus on these relatives. They had complaints, and I think one of them has passed away already about 2 years, and one of them has passed away about 4 years. And people are still talking, complaining about the injustice that they felt were done to them by these two relatives. And just today I was speaking to someone about this, and I said, look, whether they did these things or not is not important. Once they're not here anymore, you have to forgive them. You have to be mindful of everyone. You can't talk bad about people that are not alive anymore. And I think that's an important thing. People who are not alive are aware of what's going on in this world, and they are aware of the bad comments that are being made.
Much more than you're aware, even if it's done in front of you.
Right.
Totally different level.
Right, and therefore, a person should never be caught in the trap of saying, Oh, I hated Uncle Harry. He was a no good for nothing bum. This is
It just so happens. It just so happens I had an Uncle Harry.
Oh no,
who just
sorry.
died about a year and a half ago. And if you have time, I'll tell you one more story.
Yes,
but
sure.
this time about my father. It's an amazing story. My father would never ever tell his stories, and he had amazing, amazing stories.